We got it. We got it. There we go. Courtney Cox in talk to join Scream 7. Following Neve Campbell's return to the franchise, is anybody surprised by this? I mean, she was going to show up, and I'm not knocking Courtney Cox. She's a freaking legend, okay? Gale is a freaking legend, right? But I'm just saying, I mean, it's really a big compliment to her that, you know, she's a team player. Courtney Cox is a big team player. I think she's like, no matter what, you know, you guys figure your shit out. I'll be there to play. Okay, whatever you guys want. I think she loves Scream so much that she'll be there no matter what. So that's why it's no freaking shocker whatsoever, right? Did any of us think that, Courtney Cox is not? I mean, I think the big thing, here's the big news if we get it. Whenever we find out if Mindy and Chad are coming back, I think that's going to be big news, right? Because we know that Sam and Tara are not coming back yet. Although I will say, I said this recently too. I guarantee you Sam is coming back. Maybe Tara, but I guarantee you Sam, Melissa Barrera, is coming back. I mean, I don't think she's let go of the franchise. She had a recent statement at I think a convention or somewhere like that. Or no, you know what it was? She did a news article in one of these magazines recently, and she was promoting Abigail. And of course, they're going to ask her about Scream. And she basically stated that the door's not closed for Sam. It is for now, but it could definitely reopen. You know, she's not counting Sam out. She loves the character. So I think after this movie, if this movie's a big hit, I think they're definitely going to be going back to Sam, to Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, and trying to get them back. I think they're going to try to figure something out, you know? We'll see. We'll see. Now, let me ask you guys this, all right? Question for you guys. Now that you know that Sam and Tara are out, do you, and you know that Neve Campbell is back, right? And maybe it took what just happened for Neve to come back. Who knows? Do you want to rock the boat and bring Sam and Tara back eventually for, say, Scream 8? Or do you want to just keep going down the road with Neve Campbell, you know, and whatever? And maybe a completely new cast, a new young cast. And think back, guys. Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4 all had new, fresh, young faces. They didn't depend on Sam and Tara, right? And yeah, there's some new faces, but they're not as prominent in this new, Scream 5 and 6 as they were back then. And I think that was part of the charm about the earlier Scream movies was you had, I think, a lot of strong characters, you know, especially in, say, Scream 2. There were a lot of really strong characters, you know, that scene in the classroom where they're talking about movies and whatnot. And just that one scene, I think, put a spotlight on a lot of those characters like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Timothy Olyphant, right? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want Sam and Tara back? Or are you like, okay, you know what? That's over. Let's just move forward, right? Because I guarantee it's 50-50. I think a lot of people don't care and they just want to move forward. Let's read through this story. You know what? I mean, I'm sure I don't have to, but I'll entertain it for a little bit because I got a lot of news stories to go through. Courtney Cox in talk to join Scream 7. All right. Courtney Cox may be heading back to the Scream franchise. As sources tell Variety, she is in talks to reprise the role of Gale Weathers in the 7th movie in the slasher franchise, to be directed by Scream writer Kevin Williamson. This news comes about 2 weeks after Neve Campbell announced she was coming back as Sidney Prescott after the actor sat out of Scream 6 due to a salary dispute. Sidney Prescott is coming back, Campbell posted. So, yeah, and they're pretty much repeating everything that we know, and I'm not going to waste you guys' time, right? Yeah, they're going down, you know, the past history of everything. So, yeah, that's pretty much the news there, is that, yeah, she's coming back. So, now, as far as Gale in Scream 7, where do we want Gale to go? Do we want to kill off Gale? Is that even a possibility? that we could kill off Gale, right? I mean, think back to like Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9. In 7, they killed freaking Han Solo. In 8, they killed Luke Skywalker. And then in 9, it was Princess Leia. Wait, did she die? She might have died in 8. I can't remember. I'm actually going through all the Star Wars movies again. But yeah, so would they have the balls to kill off Gale? I mean, they pretty much almost killed her off. And I think more importantly, will Chad come back as a cyborg? You know, I think that's the big question. After the battle damage that he took in the last movie, I think he'll come back as Iron Man. I think he'll have like a metal chest. Because, man, that guy, he took some beatings. Holy shit. But, you know what? There's not much more to say about it. I'm glad that she's back. You know, I think Gale is a really, really fun character, and I think she could mix it up. I would love it if they made Gale the killer, if I'm being honest. You know, because if any legacy character in Scream is believable as the killer, I think it would be Gale. You know, there's been some bad blood between Gale and Sydney in the past. Gale is very selfish at times. So I think people would maybe buy that Gale was the killer if that ends. But also, I think I'm just ready for Scream to really swing for the fences. And, you know, deliver on, like, just giving us a crazy surprise ending that's, you know, fun and believable and emotional. And I think that's what Scream 6 lacked with the ending. I think Sam and Tara are emotional characters, and they're great, but the killers that were revealed in Scream 6, I felt nothing for them, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Gale. Happy she's back. We'll see what happens, you know? Are they going to resurrect Dewey? You know, are they going to dig his body up? I mean, because at this point, I think it's possible, right? After what happened in 6, you know, are these real people? Or are they superhuman? Who knows?
What's up, guys? You are at the middle of the video. Don't go anywhere. There's still plenty of content ahead of you, but just wanted to break right here to say you are at Drumdums Xtra, my second channel. If you like my main channel and you're not subscribed, I would urge you to subscribe to this channel, okay? Because this is where I do a lot of my horror updates and whatnot. I moved all that stuff over to here, and it's more of a live stream type feel. I am working really hard on this channel, just as hard as I am on the other channel. You'll see at least 3 or 4 videos a week, and most of it's like horror news, topical type stuff. Got some rankings on there and whatnot. The main channel's still the main channel, but this is more for this type of content. So anyway, guys, back to the video. And subscribe, damn it.
Is Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 has officially been confirmed. I just watched the new movie that's out now. I'm not going to spoil anything because I think a lot of you guys still haven't seen it. It was in theaters for 3 nights, and luckily I caught it on the 3rd night. And I had never seen the original, the first movie. I heard it was absolutely atrocious because of the budget, you know, and probably a few other things. I've even heard, I've even heard that this is to the first movie what Evil Dead 2 is to the first Evil Dead. It's almost a remake of the first movie, just with a bigger budget. And I like that idea. And maybe years down the line, after all these movies start coming out, because they're doing a Poohniverse, maybe people will go back and sort of appreciate the original because of how low the budget was, you know, and now that those characters are ingrained in us a little bit, because I'll admit I didn't watch the first Evil Dead until way after I watched Evil Dead 2. I watched Evil Dead 2 first, so this is kind of going down the same path. But I can tell you guys right now that haven't seen 2, it's good. It's definitely a fun slasher movie with some really great gnarly kills. I think it's a little too dark, you know, visually. Like they could have lightened it up a little bit, but I mean, I think it was really fun. I think it could have been shortened by about maybe 15 minutes too. But you know what? You know how we all like those big like rave dance scenes, kind of like in Freddy vs. Jason. We had one. The beginning of The Collection, we had one. There's one of those scenes in this one, and it takes up the entire final act. And boy, is it awesome! It's really, really fun. And I'll even say this right now. Having not seen the first one, I don't think you need to see the first one because I understood everything that was going on with this movie. So, but I think it's going to be a success because they're already confirmed for not just part 3, but a whole bunch of other movies. So let's read through this real quick. Here we go. The twisted Poohniverse expands with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, now playing in U.S. theaters through tonight only. This is an older article. And a third installment is on the way soon. Variety confirms this morning that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 has been given the green light, with Jagged Edge Productions officially ordering up a third film. Variety notes, according to the producers, Part 3 will have a bigger budget than the previous films. Oh, that's good. And will introduce new characters from the original stories, including Rabbit, the Heffalumps, and the Wuzzles. So and I will say, guys, there's 4 characters from the original fairy tale. You know, you got Tigger, you got Winnie the Pooh, Owl, and Piglet. And I think they're all used. They're great. They're all great. We also know that in addition, Part 3, the team is conjuring up horror movies based on Bambi, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, and more. They had a little intro before the movie played where they talked about these and they showed like a little sample of Bambi. That's going to be fun. The end game, they actually do have one in mind. As we recently learned, all these individual movies will pave the way for the Poohniverse Monsters Assemble. In that movie, all the monsters team up to take down the world, naturally. The good news for this team is that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 has won over even some of the harshest critics of the first film, with most agreeing it's a huge step up in quality. And I can't say if it's a step up in quality, but I imagine it is. But man, I tell you, I went into it as a slasher fan, and I came out really, really happy. You know, that's the thing. We all have that subgenre, that one subgenre that we can be lenient to as long as they give us what we want, meaning good kills. And this one really had some great kills. Holly says, just watched Lisa Frankenstein last night. Everything I was looking for. I loved Lisa Frankenstein. There's people that didn't like the movie that much. I think people were expecting Jennifer's Body, and they didn't get that. I wasn't. I was expecting Diablo Cody, and that's what I got. And I thought it was wonderful. I loved that movie. I saw it twice, even. So I agree with Holly. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to this franchise going forward. I'm definitely looking forward to Part 3. I gave my critiques and what I would like for them to do going forward. Maybe some corrections. I will say the main character that was in Part 2, loved the guy. I mean, and he was a great main character of the movie. I'd like them to maybe step him up in the future movies to be, I guess, more of a badass type character. Not to say that he's not badass, but he's just very emotionally driven because of, I guess, the previous occurrences. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential going forward for this franchise, for sure. Will I ever watch the first? I'm sure I will, but I'm not like itching to right now. I feel like it's probably like Evil Dead 2 to Evil Dead, you know? And I didn't feel the need to watch the first Evil Dead for the longest time until I did. Now, I'm not saying the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is going to be nearly as good as the first Evil Dead. That movie's a classic, but it's the same type concept. So, yeah.